Hey there YouTube. Samurai Shodown 2. A fantastic old school retro 2D beat 'em up. Available to play on your Xbox One S, One X, Xbox One via the backwards compatibility program. And all the footage that you see is actually captured via an Xbox One X. So, as far as I'm aware of, this game hasn't actually had much of an update, you know, like a HD remake or something like that. This is just your bare bones Samurai Shodown 2. But even though it hasn't actually had any of these, you know, HD links on it, it still looks absolutely banging. And what they've done, what SNK have done, is they've added a feature within the options to either play the game in its original form or an enhanced form. And I tried both of them, but I couldn't really tell much of a difference. In either case, whether you're playing in the original form or enhanced form, it still looks absolutely banging. It looks good, it plays well. I mean, if you've played any of the SNK beat 'em ups, you will be really familiar with, you know, what this game is about. I just play it because I enjoy the way it looks. It reminds me, you know, it gives me a bit of nostalgia, and I'm proper digging the way this game sounds. It has a very, very, very heavy Japanese vibe to it, and you do get a pretty decent amount of, you know, characters to choose from, and they all kind of range. They all have their little, you know, little pros and cons, and they're all little styles. And each and every character is very unique, and the sprites look absolutely fantastic. I mean, this game was, I'm not really sure when it was, you know, released. I'm thinking early to mid 90s. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but yeah, early to mid 90s I'm thinking. But we're in, you know, late 2019 now, and this still looks fantastic. It still plays fantastic, and it's an absolutely blast as a couch co-op game. Definitely worth getting a few people around, or even if you've just got, you know, one person with you and just, you know, sitting in front of a TV and having a bash at this. It's definitely one of those games that, you know, is well deserving of a, you know, a little bit of a bash, and it's good fun. It's quite funny too. And the characters that you can choose from all range from, you know, different fighting styles to the way they look, but all heavily, you know, inspired by Japanese folklore and whatnot. And there isn't, I mean, the subtitles are all in English, but the general language in the game is still Japanese. And I mean, to me it sounds absolutely fantastic. The one thing that really sticks out to me, and I keep mentioning this, is the way this game looks. Visually, this game is very pleasing to the eyes, and I can't praise it enough of what a fantastic job they've actually, you know, done, and the type of benchmark they set for, you know, for back in them days. Because even now, you know, I look at this game and I think to myself, wow, you know, this looks really good. And I know I keep mentioning about the visuals, but when, you know, when you come from an era of, you know, 2D beat 'em ups and that's all you had to play with, the first thing that really actually got to you was how the game looked, and playing the game actually came second. But in this instance, this game not only looks good, but it plays pretty much, you know, as you would expect it. I never really actually got a chance to play this game in the arcades, but I have played some of the arcade emulators of this game, and it does feel and look pretty much like them. I wouldn't be surprised if this was an actual arcade port, but I don't think it is. It could be possible, and I could be wrong. There's always that possibility. So, you know, the one question you may be thinking to yourself is it worth picking this game up in late 2019? Is it worth playing a 2D beat 'em up in 2019, going on into 2020? I would say if you're a fan of 2D beat 'em ups, then you most likely will definitely enjoy this. Actually, let me rephrase that. You most definitely will enjoy this. If you're a hardcore fan of the SNK games and you don't already have this game, then yeah, go ahead, pick it up. You know what you're getting into basically, and you will enjoy it. It's definitely worth checking out. And if you're not into 2D beat 'em ups, or you're not a fan of the SNK types of games, then I doubt it you're gonna like this game. You may just, you know, you may take a liking to it, but I don't think you're gonna enjoy it, because to me it seems like the game is more geared towards a certain audience. So here are the settings, and as you can see, you've got controls and leaderboards and multiplayer as well, but every time I've been on multiplayer, I've never really been able to get onto a game. Probably because there's not really many people playing this. But as a single player, you know, beat 'em up game, I think it's pretty good. And in my opinion, I think it's worth checking out, definitely. I like to think of this game as one of those feel-good type of games, because the game, I mean, visually the game is so vibrant that when you play it does kind of make you feel, you know, it kind of makes you feel happy, it makes you feel good, and but it's very technical, you know, at the same time as well. Not really technical, but it has some, you know, technical aspects where you can lose your weapons and whatnot. You have to then go back and pick it up or something, and you've got the POW meter at the bottom. You can use that too, and if done properly and played in the correct manner, it has a kind of a technical side to it. I'd say it has probably a little bit more technicality to it than most 2D beat 'em ups of that era. The soundtrack of the game is heavily, you know, Eastern Japanese inspired, with a little bit of, you know, upbeats here and there. Content wise, you don't really get that much. You get your normal, you know, arcade mode, you get a multiplayer mode, and that's pretty much it, from what I can see anyway. But this is a game from simple times, and back then we didn't really need, you know, a practice mode, or, you know, this mode or that mode, or a bowling mode. or you know, a freeze mode, or whatever mode you can think of. We just had the arcade mode and we had the multiplayer mode and the options, and we were good to go. As long as the game played well, it looked good, it sounded well, you know, we were happy. So a simple game from, you know, simple times. Story-wise, I think there is some story added here and there, and if you're familiar with any of the SNK games of that era, you will know that whenever a bout starts, there's a bit of a dialogue that takes place between the two characters, and that also happens in this game too. I personally myself, I've never really, you know, got to the end of the arcade mode, and to me, I don't really take this game that seriously, whereas I want to dedicate my time to completing this game and finding out what happened at the end of this or that. It's just, you know, a bit of a bash here and a bit of a bash there, and I'm good to go. I hope you enjoyed this video, hope you enjoyed the content. If not, leave it down in the comment section and let me know what you didn't like. Even if you did like it, then let me know what you did like. If you have any recommendations, please leave it all down in the comment section. Hit like, subscribe, please share my videos, support this channel, and if you don't, then I'm afraid it's gonna be game over for you, my friend.